audio and video recorded and will be shown on local access media. Please stand and join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First on the agenda, we have an application for a common vic license change, New York Pizza, from Zaryab Enterprises to ENV Restaurants Incorporated. I believe that the gentleman from the new establishment is here.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to say anything or tell us if there's any changes being made to the operation?
My name is Mohammed, last name is Khan, and my pleasure to be with you guys. And there's going to be no changes, nothing. Everything's going to be the same. It's going to be just different orders. I'll try my best to do the best I can. I've been working 20 years, 15 years. I had 4 kids, 1 wife, 1 brother, living in this area. And I'm living in Shrewsbury right now. We have a business just started, Shrewsbury Pizzeria. And try to move, I still live in there, but try to get my family here. I live in Cape Cod for 18 years. The rest of the family is living there. Couple of cousins live in West Bridgewater, Brockton, Boston, everywhere. Any question, Albert?
Great, thank you, appreciate it, and welcome. Lorna, has everything been submitted?
Yes.
Are there any inspections that need to be done, or?
They were inspected today. Everything's good to go. I just want to note that days and hours are for our Monday through Sunday, 9 to 11.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No, this is great. Welcome.
Is there
We
a
actually
motion?
spoke on the phone last night. I
Yeah,
had
that was
takeout.
you.
Yes, it was me. Wish
Is
you the
there
best
a-
of luck. Nice
Thank
to meet you.
Thank you guys. Yep.
Is there a motion to approve?
There is, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So you're all set, and I'll reach out to you tomorrow. What we can have your list.
All right. I'm always there. Anybody have any questions? I should bring you guys pizza, but I don't. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the appointment of the fire chief. David, could you walk us through the process that got us to here today?
Yes, so I actually put together a formal memo. I think it goes over pretty well, so I will say the following. As you are aware to the board, in December of 2020, Fire Chief Ken May notified HR that he would be retiring in April. As a result, HR posted for the chief's position in February. 9 potential candidates applied, and in consultation with the HR director, 4 finalists were chosen to go before a third-party formal assessment center. 2 candidates withdrew at the last moment, meaning that there were only 2 candidates that went through the process. On April 15th, 2021, an all-day assessment center was conducted by Perro Consulting and Associates. Jack Perro, the owner of the organization, is a retired fire chief, and with him on his panel were 3 additional retired fire chiefs as well. After doing their assessment, they concluded that Deputy Lincoln Chief Tebow performed the best. I was in attendance, and I can tell you that I wholeheartedly concur with the findings of Perro Consulting. Additionally, I have interviewed Mr. Tebow about his vision for the future of the department and informed him of what the town's expectations are of him. It is clear that Deputy Tebow is the best fit for the department. As a result, I enthusiastically endorse Deputy Chief Tebow, and in agreement with the recommendation of the Fire Assessment Center, I recommend to the board to appoint Deputy Chief Tebow as the next fire chief for the town of West Bridgewater, effective immediately upon successful contract negotiations.
Thank you, David. It's great to see that Lincoln, our own, made it through and was successful in the assessment and outdid the competition. Are there any questions, comments, or anything?
No, it sounded like you were way ahead of the rest of the crowd, so congratulations.
Just want to congratulate you. We're very fortunate to have you, Link. Wish you the very best.
So with that, is there a motion to approve or appoint Lincoln Tebow as the fire chief?
I'll make a motion to appoint Lincoln Tebow as fire chief.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations.
And
Lincoln,
we
one-
do have a special message from Avery. Avery, would you like to take the microphone?
Congratulations, Daddy.
Oh, geez, if he didn't get the job before, that just sealed it.
So, Chief, would you like to introduce who is with you and the firefighters that are with you as well? And as long as the board has no objection, I know it's still pending contract negotiations, but we wanted to have a chief at town meeting. We would ask the assistant town clerk to swear him in.
This is my lovely wife and my beautiful daughter Avery, and I'm accompanied by my actual former group, firefighter Tim Sheehan, firefighter Mike Devley, and firefighter
Patrick Pitcher. I'm glad they called to make it today.
Excellent.
Sharon, would you like to?
Sure.
I state your name.
I, Lincoln Tebow,
Having been appointed fire chief for the town of West Bridgewater,
have been appointed fire chief for the town of West Bridgewater.
do solemnly swear and affirm
Do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge,
that I will, sorry,
that's okay,
that I
Ben,
will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all the duties incumbent on me
and perform all the duties incumbent upon me
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to my best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably to the Constitution of the United States of America
agreeably to the Constitution of the United States of America
and the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the laws of the Commonwealth of
and
Massachusetts
the town of West Bridgewater,
and the town of West
so help
Bridgewater.
me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I take some minutes?
Sure.
Is everyone for a brief recess?
Yes, the motion for a brief recess.
Oh, second.
All those in favor?
So Lincoln, why don't you take a picture of the board, please?
Congratulations.
Do we want to go grab your flags? Sure. I feel like it'll look better instead of all wires. Scoot this way.
Sideways.
All right. Some other photos? Dave, do you want to get in? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. No, I'll come over.
No problem. I'm going to make sure I'm taking good ones.
Avery, would you like to join us? Come on, go down. Real quick picture. Okay, come on. You're the official speaker. I know, I just thought of that.
You see the squints of the eyes?
You want me to take a picture of the baby?
Sure. Thank you so much.
So pretty.
We should get a picture of this team. Take a picture if you want. Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on in.
It looks like you're making a grimace there, honey. One more. Yeah, I don't have my glasses.
Thank you.
Great picture. I'm on that.
There you go. Congratulations on the
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yep. I was lucky enough to be invited.
Good to see you, sir. That's it. Thank you.
You're in, that's it. You can't,
Official.
you can't run from it now.
That's okay.
All yours.
One chapter closes, another one begins. All right, have a good night. Take care.
I never think of my kids, I'm never gonna grow up. And now they're.
Thank you all for everything you do.
Thank you.
Well, if I come here, anything, I would either try to see and know somebody.
Okay, we are now back in open session. Next on the agenda is vote to lay out Lincoln Street, Crescent Street, and Route 106 for the road improvement plan. So it looks like there's a number of easements. Are these takings as well?
Yeah, so what I'm going to ask you to do, although this will not be the last vote you eventually take, is that we provide a road layout plan that shows what we believe to be all the easements and takings. And there are 14 pages worth of easements and takings as well. They're all, for the most part, pretty small. A couple of feet here, a couple of feet there. There might be some a little bit bigger, but they're all small. So with that said, we are going to file this with the town clerk, so that way if anybody would like to review any of this prior to town meeting, they can. It is part of the process when we go to town meeting, because we will be voting on town meeting to accept all these easements and takings on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. Over the summer, we will then hire an appraisal company. The appraisal company then will go out, appraise them, determine valuations, and then we will have to pay those respective owners for those takings. Please recall that in the TIF agreement, we allotted a $2,225,000 construction allowance, but $250,000 for legal takings appraisal. So the developer's technically paying for it because he's going to put the money into our revolving account, assuming it gets set up at town meeting. And then we will use that money to be able to purchase them at that point. So at this point, what I would ask the board to do is just to take a vote to say that you accept the road layout as presented, all the easements and takings as presented as well. And again, I'm just cautioning the board that we will come back at a later date and probably take a final vote once we have the appraisal numbers.
Okay, thank you, David. Are there any questions or comments, or is there a motion?
I have a quick question. So it shows a list of supposed owners. Are each of these people reached out to before town meeting, or does this the public announcement?
So
How does that work?
we won't reach out to them at this point. We will file it with the town clerk's office. I will tell you, there's no secrets. So some of these people have already reached out to me and have said, and so now that I finally got this final description today, so those people that have reached out, I'm going to send it out to them so they have it. But again, there's no secrets. Most people know. But they will be filed with the town clerk's office. So if somebody owns any property or land in that area, they will be able to go there and take a look at it. After town meeting, assuming approval, we will then send a formal letter to each and every one of them notifying the town intends to take it with a valuation appraisal, and then we will be sending them a check for that amount. If they decline it, they have that right, because there's always appeals. It's the United States government, right? Everybody can appeal. They can appeal, but it doesn't stop the process. So for example, if an appraisal comes in and it's $1,100, we will send you a check for $1,100. We will then execute the easement at the Registry of Deeds. You could file in court. It's going to take 2 or 3 years. And if a court at a later date says, no, it should have been $2,100, we'll have to give them the difference of the money at that point. But it does not stop or thwart the process.
Oh, okay. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have 2 carryover requests, Sharon Layden and Laura Williams. Is there a motion to approve those?
We have a C, assigned readers.
Correct. So David provided a sheet of his recommendations. We'll just run through them. 1 and 2 are consent articles, annual reports, and Mass Highway contracts. He has me listed from the Board of Selectmen. Or any objection to that? Okay. Number 3, salaries of elected officials. he has Mary listed. Are you okay with that, Mary?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Number 4 would be the budget, which would be Finance Committee. Number 5, Board of Assessors. Number 6, Chapter 90 would be Chris Anatelli, or the DPW representative. 7, 8, 9, 10 are all CPC articles, and a representative from the CPC would read those. Number 11 is the Web Task Force, which the Police Department representative would read. Numbers 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all DPW related, and the DPW representative would read those. Number 16 is for a police cruiser. The police chief or representative would read that one. Number 17, the building department submitted, so the building commissioner would read that one. Number 18 is an item for the school. Someone from the school committee would read that one. Number 19 is the 200th anniversary funding. That has here Denise listed. Denise, if you want to do that one. Or we do have a anniversary commission, if you'd rather that person read
So,
it. or-
yeah, I would. I think it would be more appropriate to have someone that's on the commission read it.
Okay.
Okay, so I would prefer that.
Okay, so we'll do that. I believe there's only one person on that now, so if that person isn't there, would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
All right. Number 20 is an ambulance for the fire department. The newly appointed fire chief would read that one. Number 21 is for the TIF agreement. I'm listed as reading that one. I'm assuming David made that recommendation because I'm the committee member from the Board of Selectmen on the TIF committee. Are there any issues with that? Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, and number 22 is what we just went over, the street roadway design. Mary's listed for that. Are you okay with that? Okay, Denise, you good with that?
Mm-hmm.
And number 23 is the engineering revolving account, and Denise is listed on here as taking that one.
That's
Good.
fine.
Okay, and the last one, accepting of roadways, would be the planning board.
And then Anthony on the bottom is all the water department articles.
Okay, and I'm not sure what numbers they are,
I know,
but.
I'm sorry.
That's right. Those 6 would be read by the water commissioners. All right, is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now on to the vacation carryover requests. Is there a motion to approve the vacation carryover for Sharon and Laura?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a change order from IW Harding for the traffic signal on Route 106 and Howard Street. This is the first change order. It's for just over $24,000, primarily for additional asphalt, and the funding would be from Chapter 90.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approve the meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2021.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And accept for review the meeting minutes of March 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a message from the town clerk for the Memorial Day ceremony. She is looking for us to fill the roles of reading the honor roll, the address, and the wreath laying. Is everyone going to be at the Memorial Day ceremony?
I'm planning to be there.
I'm a little iffy, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want to commit to doing something, but if I am in town, I will definitely be there.
All right, how about this then? If I do the address, Mary does the honor roll, and the wreath laying if Denise isn't there, and if Denise is there, she does the wreath laying?
Okay.
You just place it's pretty easy. All right, so we're good with that? Do we actually need a vote on that, David?
I don't think so.
All right, that's all right, we can skip
I mean,
that.
we can.
No, I was still moving what you said.
Is there anything for public comment period from anyone from the board? No? I have one thing. As most probably know, there's a 4-year-old boy in town who's a fighter of neuroblastoma, and there's a number of events over the next few weeks to help in fundraising for that. I'll just read them off quickly. I know they're all over Facebook, and Lorna will be posting them on Facebook as well. Grand Slam, May 1st to 31st. There's a drink special. Honeydew, May 16th to 23rd. There's a donut fundraiser. Tom and Jimmy's, May 21st to 23rd. Jake's Ice Cream Cone. Gigi's Pizza, May 21st to 23rd. There's a pizza special. Greyhound Tavern at Bridgewater, May 1st to 31st. There is a drink special. And Ponytown in East Bridgewater, May 21st from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a $10 special, and all proceeds go to the fundraising effort. All right. And the town administrator's report.
So I'll just quickly go over my update on my COVID-19 report. I will tell you our numbers are coming down, which is fantastic. For 3 weeks in a row, we've only had 9 active cases, which is much lower than it had been. You'll see that I placed a map in your packet, and that the majority now of the state is in yellow. We actually see more green than we have in the past. And you may remember that 2 weeks ago, a lot of the South Shore was red, and it is no longer the case. So again, the case numbers are coming down across the state. Because they have come down in West Bridgewater, we have also opened up the town hall. The library will begin its process to open in mid-June, and the Council on Aging has put together a 30, 60, 90-day plan to start doing limited programming as well. So I think that's all good news. I've also informed you as to what our vaccination rate is in the town of West Bridgewater. For example, right now, at least 1 dose, 49% of our residents, all ages, have received 1 dose, and 33% are fully vaccinated. And the state, surprisingly, is about identical to those numbers. The state is 34% fully vaccinated and 51% for 1 dose. So we're pretty much tracking the state. Update on the Bridgewater State University Vaccination Clinic. They have received word that they should receive doses next week. I am told that they are now an available entity that you can click on the state's website. You still have to go to the mass.gov/vaccination website. But now, instead of having to worry about Gillette or Marshfield, you can go to Bridgewater State. It will be the Pfizer vaccine. And again, it is supposed to start next week. OCPC grant. This started as a result of OCPC informing me about 6 weeks ago that there was a grant available to try to help out local businesses. We don't have an economic development person. The other municipalities that she was working with at OCPC did. However, I thought it might be something that we could try, so I applied for the grant. We were awarded the grant, so that's all positive. However, this past Friday, I met with the OCPC rep and also did a Zoom meeting with a developer. And as part of the grant is that they're looking to have each municipality that has been awarded this grant to have a business-related app on their website. At first blush, it seems like it might be a good idea. However, there is going to be some heavy lifting because somehow I have to get all of that information to the app. And it has to be updated continuously. And again, we don't have a person that can do that. The idea of the app is that you would click on business link on the website, and then if you want to know what restaurant was available in town, you would click on it, you would follow the search, go to its website, see its hours, see its menu. I do think that in today's day and age, everybody lives in town, they ought to know our restaurants. And if they're traveling through town, they're going to go to their phone and they're going to go on Yelp or they're going to Google Chinese restaurant near me versus ever thinking about going to the municipal website. All that being said, I was still willing to give it a shot until I saw the pricing. The $6,500 that you see here is covered as part of the grant. However, that is only in year one, and in year two, there would become an annual fee of $4,300. And I'm concerned about getting into a long-term financial obligation on something that I don't know as to whether or not we're going to get a lot of value out of, especially since somebody still has to be able to know all the lists to get them to this developer. In addition to the app, we also have an opportunity to get signs, banners, some social media frames, and some masks. That money right there totals somewhere around $1,500, and that could be moved anywhere. So if we said, well, instead of doing signs, we could just do $1,500 worth of masks. Well, if we want to do $500 worth of masks and $600 worth of banners, we could do all those things. The idea of the banners was for businesses to say we're open. And again, I think in theory this was really good maybe 3 to 6 months ago because there was a lot of concerns about whether or not a business was open. When businesses are opening, you know, we're moving now to a point that we're not going to have to require masks, and some of the other regulations are coming down. So the last thing is that in order to sign up for this, the OCPC rep on Friday told me that there was a contract. In full disclosure, I opened it on Monday when I received it, and it was 27 pages. And I just didn't have time to read 27 pages by tonight and get everything else done. But between looking at the cumbersomeness of the application, what the app would require in years 2 and more, I want to do something for our businesses. I think it would be great. I'm not so sure where to go with this. And because it's due on Friday, I placed it on the agenda because I was looking for feedback from the board and some guidance and direction as to how you would like me to proceed.
Any comments?
So, based on what David explained, and I did meet with him earlier, and he explained it to me as well, I don't see any value in the app when you consider the amount of maintenance it would require and time, and you even experience with restaurants or any business on the internet, you click on their website sometimes, and then on the menu, it doesn't take you to the menu, or the menu is outdated. I just don't see value in having this app on a municipal site. Maybe some value in the masks. I don't know how you'd go about distributing them, and I'm presuming it's not just intended for restaurants, David? This would be any business?
Correct.
And how, is it $200 masks, is that the limit?
No. So she placed a budget of 200 masks, so presumably there must be $3 a piece. Again, I don't know what they say, what they look like, but what she has communicated to me is that if you said we don't want to do any signs, banners, or social media frames, and you want to take that $880 added to the $600 and just buy $14 worth of masks, you can do that. If you don't want to buy any mask and you want to put it all into signs, instead of buying signs of 50, buy 75, and have people have signs saying that we're open for business, we have that flexibility, that we can move it all around. What I am not sure of, because, you know, I spoke to each one of you earlier today, I did not receive clarification whether or not I can parse this. Meaning, can I not sign up for the app, but still access this $1,500 for these reasons, or do I have to do all at the exact same time? I don't know. But if the spirit of the conversation from the board is split it, and let's try to do some of these, then I'll do the inquiry, and if I can, I will. And if you're not sure that you see value in any of it, then I'm just going to say that the town has decided not to go forward with it.
So that's actually very expensive. I mean, just looking at the masks, $3 each is very expensive.
I'd rather see that money go towards COVID expenses we've had to supply masks where they were in need as opposed to advertising. I mean, I do see the benefit of promoting our businesses in town and getting the social media support, but it seems like a very huge, cumbersome project to take this on. I like the idea of parsing it up, but if you need an answer from us tonight and you have to get through all of that by Friday, I don't think I'm in favor of it.
I would say if you can do it in 15 minutes or less, David, parse this out, get the masks, then so be it. But I don't see it being worth a time investment. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree with your statement that a few months ago, when we weren't sure what was happening with businesses, and I could see it in other communities on social media. I think we even spoke about it.
We did.
And it seemed great. But at this point, you're right, everybody's open, we're trying to get
Right.
all that information out there. I'm not sure I see a benefit here.
So I want to just make sure I clear, if I can parse it in 15 minutes or less, do you want me just to buy masks? Do you not want me to buy any signs? Or,
I know restaurants and many businesses will have masks out front. So if you come into an establishment, you don't have a mask, they're giving them away free. That is an expense for them. So it would be a nice thing to do if we had. But again, I would say if you can parse it, here's my motion. I'd like to make a motion that if David can parse this out and acquire just the masks and accomplish all this in a small amount of time at his discretion, then proceed.
So I don't believe the government should be subsidizing supplies for business. And that's what I see it as. I mean, it's not a ton of money. I just, on principle, don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
agree
you-
with either one of you. I
That's
just
a-
don't think it's worth the investment of time.
I agree with that as
All
well.
the other things
Okay.
going on. I just don't see it being, I don't see a benefit to the residents and taxpayers that warrants the amount of time. Even though we're saying, just keep it small, you know these things always turn into an email, a phone call, a da-da-da-da-da. And before you know it, it's a huge thing. I just
Okay,
can't.
so I'll rescind my motion. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we that we pass on this grant.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
okay, will do, thank you. Last on the agenda is a TIF update. As you know, at your last meeting, you voted on the TIF agreement. As I stated at that point, it was still a work in progress. We have further negotiated the agreement with the developer and had town council review. We have forwarded it to the state. The developer had to input a handful of information that obviously couldn't come from us. For example, how many employees would be looking to be hired, what would be the tenant's investments in the future. So he put all that information in. And the only other area that was in there was that there was a clause that we've deduced had come from an old template TIF agreement from the state that mandated a minimum assessment. The developer pushed back on it, and after reviewing it, I thought he was pretty right. So I spoke to town council, and he agreed. He doesn't think it's legal. We can't say, hey, your property's worth $100,000, but you're going to sign something that we're going to always assess you at $1 million. You just can't do that. So bottom line is that we know what we're looking to do is that we still have a 7-year agreement, and we are looking to get $2.4 million in return that pays for the construction and all the other soft costs. That's all spelled out, and we added some additional language in there that reinforced the fact that once that aggregate number of 2.475 million was achieved, that the contract then expired, because at that point, we want to make sure we get full and fair taxation. So it has gone to the state. We are hoping to receive authorization back from the state's lawyers between now and town meeting. If there is a substantive difference in what the lawyers are looking for us to do, we will have to make those amendments on the floor. But the warrant article is written in a way that gives the Board of Selectmen the authority to be able to make any changes that the state mandates that are non-substantive in nature. And again, to me, substantive in nature is money. Well, we're not going to make those changes, and the state's not going to make those changes. That's not their purview. So if we just have to change some of the language that doesn't change the flavor of the TIF agreement, you are going to be authorized to be able to do that. So just an update so that way you know.
Okay. That is all for the open session agenda. I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session, not to return to open session for purposes of conducting a strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the fire chief. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote.
Raise yes.
Anderson, yes.
Kinahan, yes. We are adjourned in executive session.